in Moscow. The Kremlin was stormed by the Allied effort. The Poles, who were now just supporting a puppet on the throne and didn't have real forces in the city, they were all driven out or killed. And this ended the time of troubles. And the Council of Boyars, the Sobor, finally was able to take its seat. They came crawling up out of wherever they'd been hiding, came into the Kremlin, dusted off the furniture, and set up their council, and they formalized their government as it had been in the past. And they said, now we will choose a new Tsar. Well, the choice would fall between these great boyar families, the Shuvalovs, the Dolgorukis, the Domskovs, the Kolganovs, the Koskatovs, the Lapukins, the Overovers, the Kamasaevs, the Volkonskys, all these great families. They all had leaders or eldest sons, and they wanted that one to be chosen. And they were not going to give an inch until they were it. Well, of course, things were not going to go very well if that was the attitude all round. So the most powerful of the families, 3 or 4 or 5 of them, said, all right. What we're going to do is we're going to choose a temporary Tsar. And while he's reigning, he won't reign long, we'll see to it, then we will quietly sit down and negotiate among us who is going to succeed here, and that will be that. All right? Yes, all right. So they went along with that. But who will we choose? They were all fearful. They didn't want anybody but themselves chosen. Well, somebody said, well, but what about the Romanovs? They're not very powerful. They're old, have an old family. They're not very political. Their heir is a teenager and not very healthy, we are told. Good sign. And if you want to be legal about it, after all, they are the descendants of Anastasia, Ivan IV's first wife. That would make it better. Oh, all right. Everybody said, oh, yeah, okay, he won't last long, will he? All right, we go with that. So they elected Mikhail Feodorovich Romanov as Tsar. He was 17 years old. He was the son of Fyodor, the grandnephew of Anastasia Romanova. Now, heretofore, he'd been living in Poland. He was brought back from Poland and established in the Kremlin. His father, Fyodor, was a monk. And he was also in exile in Poland, and he stayed there. They called him Philaret. He was now asked to come back and be a part of his son's government. So in 1619, he returned to Moscow and was elevated to become the Patriarch of Moscow, making him the most important churchman in Russia, or in Moscovy. And he became, some say, the power behind his son's throne. Well, he certainly was a strong guide. He was a basically balanced man. And his policies were coincident with a lot of what people wanted at the time. So he was a good influence on his son's reign. And he presided in that condition until he died as an old man.